How's it going? I wanted to show how I tie an October Caddis. First off, we're starting with a Steelhead hook in here. It's the Partridge Patriot single size 8. This fly could easily be tied for Steelhead. It could be a trout fly, changing on the size of the hook, and kind of how you tie it in. This one is going to be for riffle hitching. So starting off with my hook in the vise, I've got a 6/0 orange uni. Just going to lay a thread base. So I'm not going to be tying this with a rib. Put my thread all the way back to kind of right about where the point of the hook is, using a pseudo seal in kind of a fiery orange. Looks like the fibers are kind of a mix of an orange and maybe some yellow in there. Put with wax on the thread. Goal is to bring this up right behind the return eye, maybe a little bit over. I want to leave enough room on the head, especially on these Patriot single hooks. You can see they kind of have a real slight eye on them. Leaving that little bit of space there will allow me to either put a riffle hitch in there on the bottom, on the side, or fish it straight, kind of like a wet fly. So as I get to the return eye there, I want to make a little bit of bump. So I got my bump kind of right in there. It'll help me, give me my spot to tie in my wing. For my wing, using this India Hen black natural. What I'm looking for are two feathers kind of matching in size from down on the bottom. I don't want them too big. One's up top. They're just way too big for this application. One on the bottom, if I can find a matching pair, somewhat close to a matching pair. Let's see here. There's two good ones right here. So, got my two. What I'm going to do is to prep the feathers, lay them so they're matching, shiny side, both facing out. You just try to unzip them on each side, so you've got two feathers that are prepped in about the same length. To attach them here, actually flip them back over so the shiny sides are both facing out. The concave sides are both facing in. And once you get them lined up, go ahead and lick your fingers. Put on the side there. You pull them apart. See, they're both stuck perfectly. So I'm going to kind of place those where I want them, right in here on the, right behind that bump that I made. And you can kind of do a little bit of a adjustment based on where you want those pieces to hit. There you go. You can also pull the tips in a little bit to get them to line up. Make sure they both sit up on top of the hook shank. So they're kind of sitting up on top. These ones are kind of wet because I lick my fingers a good bit, but they'll open up a good bit more. Before I trim them off though, since this is going to be used as a steelhead fly, I'll take it up a little bit, bend the stems back over, return them, and that just kind of locks it in and gives it that extra little bit that you might need. Cool. So I got the wings in there. They're sitting kind of high. They'll kind of push back as they go. Next we'll do the deer hair for the wing. Just like you would do on like a normal elk hair caddis or any other hair wing. Get a clump, just start to clean it out. Take the tips, hold on there under the tips, and then on the back end just kind of pull everything out. If you have a brush, you can do it that way. I just like to do it by my hands. Take any long stragglers out, anything that looks like it might be in backwards, butt ends are not right. Dump them in the hair stacker. Got my wing. Got one long one in there. So I'm going to measure this out to probably right past the tips of those wings. Do 2 loose wraps. third pulling down. That'll keep all that hair up on the top. I don't want it to flare on the bottom yet. So you can see I got a nice build up. What I'm going to do is actually cut. I'm going to pull these back and keep them up top. Make a couple wraps to stand them up. I'm going to prep another clump of hair. About the same size, maybe time and a half what I did for the wing. Clean out all the base. This one's going to get completely trimmed, and I really don't care about the tips being even. So I'm actually just going to take here. I'm just going to clip the tips off. So I'm going to bend back my tips from my butts from before. Take 1, 2. This time on the third, I'm going to spin it, pull it tight, and follow that third wrap right through there. I'm going to run a couple just kind of through the head, through some different spots, just to make sure that kind of got everything locked in there nice and tight. And now, so I've got a nice big mess here. Now I need to find the eye of the hook. Just start pushing it back. Got it there. And as you start to pull your tips back, you can start to find your thread coming through. Find that and make 1 wrap, 2 wraps up by the eye, just to get everything moving back in the right direction. But keeping everything nice and long. Keeping it out of the way. So, got that. Do a whip finish. Again, trying to find that eye so I don't start trapping in fibers. And there we go. I got one in there that I can clean up later, as you can see. Pull that out tight. Cool, locked in. So now I got this big old mess. It comes time to do some trimming. First thing I want to do is on the bottom, I want to just cut, turn them flat side down and cut just even right with the body and take everything off. Almost up to where those wings are that I tied in with that hen. Now, my goal here is to take everything short except for the tips that are hidden back underneath here. Everything that's a butt end, I want to take it off. And just a matter of just being careful with each one of your clips that you're not taking too much. So I'm going to do a rough cut here. Clean up the head. Clean up the body here a little bit. There's 2 more. A little bit of head cement and you're good to go.